And we're back at 7:35 a.m. on a Thursday. That can only mean one thing. It's time for your Car Pro, ladies and gentlemen. And the Car Pro is on line one. Good morning, Car Pro Jerry Reynolds.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all?
You sound like you're in a good mood this morning.
You're always
I'm
in a good mood.
in a good mood.
I don't know. You sound a little bit extra chipper today.
If I'd been driving around in what you've been driving around in, I'd be pretty chipper myself.
Yeah, I've been a pretty good week, boys. I got to tell you.
You feel young again?
Yeah, actually. I mean, you get a car like this, and it just changes everything. The way you drive, the way you sit in it. And we're talking about a McLaren, which is a rare car in itself. This particular one is a new model that just came out for 2019. I had a McLaren 2 years ago, the 570, but it wasn't nearly as fast as this car. This one is 711 horses, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, and that's where you really feel this car is just from a dead stop and just full-out acceleration. But it's got a hefty price tag too, $351,000.
Oh gosh, is that all?
Yeah, but it's beautiful. I mean, if you look at this big V8 with two turbos, and it sets mid-engine, so the motor is right behind you when you're driving. So you get this incredible amount of sound. And also it gives the car, because it's kind of centered in the car, it gives it a lot of stability. And it's got different modes that you can drive in. It's got sport and comfort, and then there's one for track. And you can change the engine performance and the handling performance separately. So, for instance, in town, I like to drive it in sport as far as handling, but in comfort as far as handling, just gives it a little bit better ride. But then in sport, for the powertrain, so you get that burst of power. It's tight inside the cabin, as you could expect. It's a typical two-seater sports car, not a lot of room. But I wouldn't want this car as a daily driver, but boy, it'd be some fun weekends. It's a little nerve-wracking to drive this car. I'm not telling you.
It's the one you keep in your garage covered up and pull out on one of those days that you just want to have some fun.
So
Jerry, exactly.
Tell me, do you have any idea how many of these that McLaren sells?
I think they sold total last year somewhere around 5,000. Now, this car is extremely popular in other parts of the world. It's sort of a newcomer to the sports scene in the United States, but we've got a dealer in Dallas that does pretty well with these cars. I mean, this particular model, the 720S, they've got, I'd say, 8 or 10 of them in their inventory, along with the other models that are out there.
Okay, so there's a huge difference in price. But I'm just kind of wondering. I know that that Chevy is they're going to come out with their mid-engine Corvette. Is that going to, do you think, compare to this at all?
Boy, it's hard to say. They've kept the wraps on the information on that car.
Yeah.
We know it's been delayed. They ran into some problems, and then they put the launch off 6 months. And the rumors, who knows? Rumors are rumors, but it's supposed to be priced around $150,000, but they haven't released horsepower, et cetera. As a guy that's owned a couple of Corvettes in the last few years myself, I can tell you that these are very different cars. I mean, that old school muscle car with the Corvette versus all this new technology in a car like this McLaren. I can't see how I could ever compare with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a big, huge difference in price tag as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
No
I saw something over on Car Pro USA that really caught my eye, and it's this Lincoln with suicide doors.
Yeah. We had that in our on our website about a month ago when they announced that they were going to build this thing, and I thought, I wonder how many wonder how many people would actually be interested in that. And apparently a lot, because they sold out within a month. Now, we're not talking any big numbers here. They're only building 80 of them. But, man, you talk about a collector car somewhere down the road, this is probably it.
Yeah, I mean,
those people.
It's got, like, new gangster mobile, like, written all over it.
Oh, yeah, and they stretched it. It's got more interior room. I mean, this car is 6 inches longer. This car is actually built off a typical Lincoln Continental chassis, which is a wonderful car, by the way, and a converter, a coach builder, a limousine builder, actually converts for them. And they're starting to take orders now for the 2020 model. And they haven't said yet how many they build, but given the length of time that it took to sell these out, I got to think they'll build more of them in 2020 than they did for 2019.
So are these like hand built? Since there were only 80 of them made, did they refit their I guess their machines, or did they actually have people going in there and
no, they'll cut because of the stretch element of it, putting 6 more inches in the interior. They'll typically cut the frame and rebuild it longer, and then I'm sure they custom made the doors for this thing. So they may use the factory front door and then added the other door. But back in the 60s, there was talk of outlawing these things because kids were opening the back doors going down the highway.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen on that back door opening the wrong direction? It would just rip it off, you know. Mm-hmm. So there's some nostalgia with this. I thought it was a brilliant concept, and it certainly has brought them a lot of publicity.
Yeah. Well, what else is going on CarProUSA.com?
Well, we got to do. I got a recap on our blog page. I've got a recap of the Barrett Jackson auction from last weekend, which was huge. I mean, huge. One of the biggest ever. And there's one article that I just loved. Lexus came out, and it's a spoof, but it's pretty doggone funny, about how to protect quarterbacks with the Lexus technology. And you just got to see it. There's a video in it, and you'll see commercials on during the Super Bowl time. But it's pretty funny. All that's at CarProUSA.com, along with everything else that I typically have in there.
All right, and I think is it next Monday when they'll be able to see this McLaren?
Yes, it'll be out. We'll have it up Monday afternoon. I shot video with it all day yesterday, so we'll have a lot of really good shots of this car. Just an amazing car. These don't come along very often when you're a reviewer, but when they do, you sure want to take advantage of it.
All right, Jerry. Well, thank you so much for being on our show. Jerry Reynolds is on right here on 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO on Saturdays from 11 to 1. And also, you can check out his website, carprousa.com, to see all the reviews that he has going on.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Have a good day.